Stoic life lessons. 10 things you should never do for women. Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Today we explore this strength through Stoicism, focusing on 10 crucial principles you should never compromise, not just for women, but in any relationship. Have you ever altered your path, sacrificed your joys, or dimmed your own light just to keep someone else shining? You're not alone. But what if there's a way to foster relationships that enrich rather than diminish you? Today's video, Stoic life lessons, 10 things you should never do for women, is not about disregarding the important women in your life. Rather, it's about engaging with them in a manner that's healthy, respectful, and deeply fulfilling for both parties. Join me on this journey and let's learn together. Remember, every step towards understanding these lessons is a step towards a more virtuous life. 1. Sacrificing your personal freedom. In the landscape of modern relationships, the allure of pleasing others can often eclipse our sense of self, leading us down a path where the lines between compromise and sacrifice blur. As we navigate through the complexities of love and connection, it's imperative to remember the sage advice from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who wisely noted, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." This profound statement serves as a cornerstone for our discussion today on the pivotal Stoic life lessons about maintaining one's autonomy in relationships. Sacrificing personal freedom is a subtle trap. It often begins innocuously, cancelling a much-anticipated outing because she prefers something else, or slowly starting to adopt interests that are not truly your own, all in the name of love and harmony. These actions might seem like necessary compromises, but they fundamentally challenge the very essence of who we are. Stoicism teaches us that real love does not demand the sacrifice of our essence, but rather supports the flourishing of each individual's true self. The very essence of your being, your integrity and personal freedom, are not just assets, but are indeed priceless. They form the bedrock of your identity and the foundation from which healthy relationships should grow. When we yield to the temptation to trade our autonomy for affection, we are not only betraying our true selves, but also setting a dangerous precedent within the relationship. This precedent can lead to a cycle where personal sacrifice becomes expected, and gradually, the relationship shifts from being mutually enriching to one-sided and draining. This is neither sustainable nor healthy, as it leads to resentment and a profound sense of loss. Loss of self, loss of joy, and ultimately the loss of the relationship's initial mutual respect and admiration. To avoid these pitfalls, it is crucial to cultivate a relationship dynamic where both parties respect and encourage each other's independence and growth. This approach not only preserves individual autonomy, but also fosters a stronger, more resilient bond. By maintaining your personal boundaries and not allowing your core values and pursuits to be compromised, you set the stage for a relationship that is based on genuine respect and understanding. Relating this to modern life, where relationships are often seen through the lens of sacrifice and compromise, it is essential to discern between healthy compromise and detrimental self-sacrifice. Advice for those walking this tightrope would be to regularly reflect on your actions and decisions. Are they bringing you closer to the person you aspire to be, or are they merely attempts to appease another at the cost of your own happiness and growth? Thus, as we explore these Stoic life lessons, remember that a truly supportive relationship is one that champions the independence and growth of both partners. It should be a partnership where both individuals are encouraged to pursue their paths, not just converge upon a singular, dictated route. As you move forward, cherish and uphold your autonomy, for it is not only the essence of Stoic philosophy, but the very foundation of a fulfilling and harmonious life. 2. Neglecting your personal growth. When we embark on the journey of personal development, it's like forging our way through a forest, rich, verdant, and full of life's varied demands and expectations. As we navigate this terrain, each step forward should ideally propel us toward greater self-improvement, wisdom, and ultimately, virtue. Yet how often do we find ourselves diverting from our own path to walk someone else's? This detour, far from being a simple deviation, represents a significant diversion from our personal growth. Epictetus, a sage in the realm of Stoic philosophy, famously critiqued this behavior as a misuse of our reason and a severe neglect of our personal development. Let's consider a modern analogy that might resonate with many. Picture a young professional named John who is passionate about his career in graphic design and aspires to become a senior designer. However, his partner, feeling unsettled in her own career, pressures him to move to a new city for her job opportunity, putting his dreams on hold. John, wanting to please his partner, agrees, sacrificing his career aspirations. Over time, John's dissatisfaction grows as he realizes he has not only stalled his career, but also compromised his happiness for the sake of someone else's ambitions. This story underscores a vital point. When we consistently prioritize the needs and goals of others above our own, we do not just hinder our own growth, we also risk losing our sense of self. In relationships, this tendency to overly invest in pleasing a partner can be particularly detrimental. It's crucial to strike a balance, recognizing that true partnership does not require one to consistently subsume their needs beneath those of the other. Stoicism teaches us that self-improvement is not a selfish pursuit, but a way to become better individuals for ourselves and for those we care about. By dedicating ourselves to our personal growth, we not only enhance our own lives, but also enrich the lives of those around us. So, how do we maintain our path without falling into the trap of constantly sacrificing for others? It starts with a clear understanding of what is Stoicism and its principles. Stoicism advocates for living according to nature, understanding our capacities, and respecting our personal boundaries and aspirations. It encourages us to question, are we living true to ourselves, or are we losing ourselves in an attempt to fulfill someone else's idea of who we should be? To all those listening, ask yourself, when was the last time you made a decision that was truly in your best interest and not primarily influenced by someone else's desires? Reflecting on such questions can be the first step towards reclaiming your path and focusing on your personal growth. The lesson here is profound, yet straightforward. Do not lose yourself in the effort to support someone else. A relationship, while inherently a shared journey, should also be a mutual support system, where both individuals are encouraged to pursue their personal goals and growth. This mutual enrichment fosters a stronger, more resilient bond, one that thrives on the individual strengths of each partner rather than the sacrifices of one. In conclusion, remember that your journey through life is uniquely yours. It's a path that should be walked with confidence and a clear sense of direction, not sidetracked by the needs and wants of others at the expense of your growth. The value of self-development is immeasurable, not only for your well-being, but for the health and happiness of your relationships. Embrace Stoicism's wisdom and let it guide you in nurturing a life and partnerships that are both fulfilling and true to your nature. 3. Suppressing your emotions. When we talk about maintaining peace in our relationships, it's common to hear advice about keeping emotions under wraps to avoid conflict. Imagine trying to hold a beach ball under water. No matter how hard you try, it eventually bursts to the surface, often popping up unexpectedly. This analogy perfectly illustrates what happens when we suppress our emotions. We're not solving anything, we're just delaying an inevitable explosion of pent-up feelings. This practice, while temporarily convenient, is far from what the Stoics advised for cultivating what they termed Stoic happiness. Stoics believed in embracing a healthy relationship with our emotions. They taught that acknowledging, understanding, and managing our emotions is crucial, rather than denying their existence. Suppressing feelings or ignoring our emotional needs for the sake of keeping peace is not only unhealthy, but also unsustainable. This approach can lead to a build-up of resentment, create misunderstandings, and eventually result in a profound disconnection, not just from our partner, but also from ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher, highlighted the importance of self-reflection and honesty in his work, Meditations. He emphasized that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This quote underscores the Stoic belief that true strength comes from confronting and understanding our emotions, not from denying them. The Stoic way encourages us to face our emotions head-on. This involves examining them with reason and expressing them in a constructive manner. It's about striking the right balance between emotion and reason, ensuring that neither dominates. This balance is crucial because unchecked emotions can lead to rash decisions, while over-reliance on cold logic might disconnect us from our humanity and those we care about. Thus, communication becomes the cornerstone of managing our emotions effectively. Openly expressing our feelings is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of strength and self-awareness. Now, you might wonder, how can we apply this Stoic approach to our modern lives? It starts with cultivating an environment where open communication is encouraged and valued. In your own relationships, ask yourself, are you creating space to discuss your feelings honestly? Are you listening to understand rather than to respond? These are essential questions that can help foster a healthier emotional life in line with Stoic principles. Furthermore, consider the impact of not suppressing your emotions, but managing them wisely. What changes could this bring to your relationships? How might it enhance your sense of connection not only to others, but to your own inner self? Please share your story and feelings, or if you don't know what to say, comment 1 if you sympathize with the above. Engaging with these reflections can help you embrace Stoic happiness. which is rooted in understanding and balance rather than suppression and avoidance. In conclusion, remember that your emotions are indicators of what matters to you. They are not your enemies, but guides that, when understood and managed wisely, can lead to a deeper and more fulfilling life. The Stoic path teaches us that the road to happiness involves confronting and integrating our emotional experiences with reasoned thought, forming a holistic approach to living that respects both our rational minds and our emotional hearts. 4. Losing your independence. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Seneca, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." This insightful notion underscores the importance of self-guidance and personal autonomy, particularly when it comes to the relationships we nurture and the emotional dependencies we might unknowingly cultivate. Seneca's wisdom serves as a poignant reminder of the dangers of letting external factors, including our relationships, dictate our happiness and self-worth. Just as a tree leans towards the sun and enjoys the rain, it remains steadfast and grounded by its roots, which draw nourishment from deep within the soil. This metaphor beautifully illustrates how we should approach our own emotional stability and independence. While it's natural and beneficial to lean into relationships for support and joy, over-reliance on them can make us susceptible to emotional turbulence when the dynamics of those relationships inevitably shift. If we tether our sense of self-worth to someone else, we risk instability the moment that external support fluctuates. Seneca's cautionary advice reminds us to deepen our own roots, developing a strong, nourished foundation within ourselves that can support emotional health and resilience. Cultivating such independence doesn't mean isolating ourselves or avoiding emotional connections. Quite the opposite. It involves building a robust inner foundation that ensures our relationships enhance our lives instead of confining them. This process requires us to engage deeply with our personal interests, pursue our goals, and reinforce our sense of self, making us resilient in the face of life's changes and challenges. Engaging in this kind of self-development involves introspection, honesty, and the courage to confront and understand our deepest fears and desires. Recognizing that others can complement our journey but not complete it is crucial. We must learn that true fulfillment comes from within and cannot be entirely dependent on external validations or relationships. This form of internal contentment fosters a wellspring of strength that not only supports us individually, but also enhances our interactions and relationships with others. By maintaining this internal equilibrium, we can approach our relationships from a place of completeness rather than neediness, ensuring that our connections are sources of mutual joy and growth rather than becoming crutches or restrictive cages. This Stoic life lesson, finding contentment within ourselves, is essential in today's world, where external factors often overwhelm our internal compass. So, how can we apply this lesson to our modern lives? Start by assessing your emotional dependencies. What external factors are you allowing to control your happiness? Begin the work of fostering your inner strength by setting personal goals, exploring interests that fuel your passion, and practicing self-reflection to understand your intrinsic values and desires. This not only prepares you to face life's vicissitudes with equanimity, but also empowers you to enrich your relationships with a wholesome and self-sufficient spirit. As we continue to navigate the complexities of life and relationships, let us remember that the strength we cultivate within ourselves is the foundation upon which we build our interactions and define our life's course. Embracing Stoic principles can lead us to a more fulfilled and balanced existence, where we are not merely reactive to external circumstances, but are proactive in creating our own paths to personal satisfaction and well-being. 5. Committing something to please her. In our pursuit of harmony in relationships, it's tempting to go beyond compromise and instead surrender aspects of our own identity, altering our actions, interests, or even our values to match someone else's expectations. Yet, what is Stoicism, if not a call to embrace our true nature and uphold our personal integrity? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy with modern relevance, emphasizes living in alignment with our genuine self, recognizing and respecting our individual likes, dislikes, values, and principles. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, compellingly taught about the necessity of guarding one's inner fortress, the personal domain of our principles and virtues. He likened compromising our core selves to leaving this fortress unguarded, vulnerable to being overrun by external influences. This metaphor resonates deeply when we consider the risks of committing to actions that conflict with our true selves just to please someone else, whether it's feigning interest in a hobby or making life choices that are not in line with our ethical standards. Take, for example, the story of Michael, a young professional passionate about environmental conservation. When he entered a relationship with someone who didn't value these principles, he found himself gradually minimizing his advocacy to avoid conflict. Over time, Michael recognized he was not only betraying his values, but was also diminishing his sense of self-worth and authenticity. His relationship, built on compromise rather than mutual respect for each other's core beliefs, eventually strained to the point of breaking. This real-life scenario underscores the Stoic lesson that true, enduring connections are not forged through self-betrayal, but through a mutual respect and understanding of each other's authentic selves. Stoicism doesn't advocate for rigidity, but champions profound self-awareness and integrity. It encourages us to consistently evaluate our decisions by asking, is this action in harmony with my true self? Does it serve my virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance? If the answer is no, it's not just a red flag. It's a directive to pause and reconsider our path. This introspection ensures that our relationships are built on a foundation of authenticity, not on the sands of convenience and compromise. So, as you navigate your relationships, reflect on this. Are you maintaining your integrity and honoring your essence, or are you reshaping yourself merely to fit into someone else's expectations? This question isn't just about self-preservation. It's about cultivating a relationship where both parties are encouraged to grow and thrive as their best and truest selves. Doing so doesn't diminish the love you share. Rather, it deepens it, fostering a bond that celebrates mutual growth and genuine understanding. The message here is clear. Before committing to actions solely to please another, consider the wisdom of Stoicism that advises us to honor our essence first. It's not a call to selfishness, but a profound respect for self that enriches not only our own lives, but also our relationships. This approach doesn't reduce the joy shared, but enriches it, creating not just a moment of pleasure, but a lifetime of deep mutual understanding and respect. 6. Ignoring reason for passion. When we think about our relationships, particularly those driven by intense passion, it's tempting to let that fervor lead us without questioning where it is taking us. As the ancient Stoic philosopher Epictetus advised, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This profound guidance reminds us that, while passion can propel us forward like wind in our sails, without the guiding rudder of reason, it is all too easy to lose our way and crash against unforeseen obstacles. Passion is undoubtedly a powerful force. It can enrich our lives, bringing excitement and joy, but it also has the potential to cloud our judgment. Consider your relationship as a voyage across vast and sometimes tumultuous seas. The excitement of exploring new emotional territories is exhilarating, yet without the steady hand of reason, this journey can lead you into stormy waters. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasized not being slaves to our impulses, but masters of them. This mastery doesn't involve suppressing our desires, but rather understanding, questioning, and refining them, so they align with our deeper values and long-term goals. In the heat of a passionate relationship, it is particularly easy for emotions to override our judgment. You might find yourself making compromises that conflict with your core beliefs, or overlooking potential red flags simply because the intensity of the moment makes them easy to dismiss. But what happens when the initial rush fades and you're left facing the consequences of decisions made without the anchor of reason? Often, this can lead to a path of regrets or misunderstandings that could have been avoided. So, how do we ensure that passion is a wind that fills our sails without steering us into jeopardy? It begins with fostering Stoic happiness, a state of inner contentment and peace that arises from living according to one's principles. This means regularly taking stock of our emotions and desires, asking ourselves whether these are leading us towards the life we truly want. Are your relationship decisions making you a better person, or are they merely serving short-term gratification at the expense of long-term happiness? Balancing passion with reason involves pausing to reflect on the potential long-term effects of our actions before we commit to them. It's about ensuring that our decisions in passionate moments contribute to our overall well-being and align with our broader life goals. The challenge here is to remain vigilant and conscious of our values even when emotions run high. As you navigate the seas of passion, consider this. Are you in control of your journey, or are you being swept along by the currents of immediate desire? How often do you pause to ensure that your emotional responses are serving your greater good, and not just temporary urges? This reflection is not about diminishing the role of passion, but about enriching it with wisdom and foresight, ensuring that it enhances rather than undermines the quality of your relationships. Ultimately, the lesson here is that true Stoic happiness comes not from denying passion, but from integrating it with rational thought and foresight. By maintaining this balance, you can enjoy the vibrancy and thrill that passion brings to your life, without losing sight of who you are and what you truly value. How will you begin to apply this balance in your relationships today? Remember, a well-navigated life, like a well-steered ship, reaches its destination not just through the force of the wind, but through the skillful use of its rudder. 7. Prioritizing her needs exclusively. In our pursuit to build harmonious relationships, it's all too easy to fall into the trap of prioritizing a partner's needs exclusively, often at the expense of our own well-being. Seneca, a venerable Stoic philosopher, aptly warned, "If one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable." This resonates deeply when we consider the essence of relationships, where neglecting our own needs can mislead us from our life's true course. Today, we delve into the critical Stoic life lessons about maintaining balance, not just in the waters of love, but across the entire ocean of life's relationships. When you constantly prioritize her needs over your own, you might think you're steering the relationship toward calm seas, but instead, you risk sailing into a storm of resentment and burnout. Compassion and compromise, undoubtedly vital components of any thriving relationship, must not lead you to disregard your own health and happiness. Relationships are akin to a two-way street, meant to be navigated together, where the needs of both parties are met with equal urgency and importance. If you find yourself always agreeing to her requests, whether it's skipping your much-needed rest, foregoing social interactions, or sidelining your hobbies, you might be sacrificing more than you should. This dynamic of always saying yes can erode your personal happiness and reduce your ability to be a supportive partner. Over time, this imbalance can lead to feelings of depletion, as you've been pouring from an empty cup. It's essential to recognize that taking care of your needs is not selfish, but necessary. A healthy relationship flourishes under the care of two fulfilled individuals who can contribute positively and wholly because they have first taken care of themselves. Consider this. Are you nurturing your well-being with the same enthusiasm you show for hers? Reflect on whether you are genuinely caring for your own needs, or if you are allowing her needs to overshadow yours. This reflection is vital because a sustainable relationship requires mutual respect and support, not a one-sided sacrifice of one partner's happiness and well-being. In our modern lives, where the demands can be relentless and the pressures high, it becomes even more crucial to maintain this balance. The advice here is to take a step back and assess if your relationship dynamics are nurturing or draining. If you find disparities, it may be time to open up a dialogue about finding a healthier balance. Communicating your needs doesn't mean you value her needs any less. It means you are striving for a partnership where both of you can thrive. Remember, cultivating a relationship in which each person's needs are respected and met is not only the foundation for personal happiness, but also for a strong and lasting partnership. Apply these Stoic principles to create a more balanced and fulfilling relationship. Leave a comment, "I'm ready," below this video. The strength of your relationship lies not just in the passion of the moment, but also in the wisdom and foresight you use to navigate your life together. 8. Changing your beliefs to match hers. When navigating the complexities of personal relationships, one of the most treacherous paths you can tread is modifying your core beliefs to align with someone else's. Stoicism teaches us that the integrity of the self is paramount, a concept echoed by Marcus Aurelius when he advised, "Be true to your own nature. Have the courage to face the truth." Think about the last time you found yourself agreeing with someone, not because you believed in what was being said, but because you wanted to avoid conflict or gain approval. It might seem harmless at first, this small concession, but each of these moments can gradually steer you away from your true self. Compromising on fundamental beliefs or altering your worldview to match another's can severely undermine your sense of self and create a relationship built on unstable, shifting sands rather than solid ground. Changing your beliefs to please someone else does more than just breed resentment. It stifles the possibility for open, honest communication. When you aren't true to your beliefs, every nod and agreement you make is a brick added to a facade that distances you from your partner. Over time, this dynamic can lead you to lose touch with the values and principles that define you. A story that resonates well with this dilemma involves a man named Tom, who started attending a different church and pretending to advocate political views he didn't agree with, all to please his partner. Eventually, Tom realized that he no longer recognized his reflection in the mirror. His essence had been diluted so much that his own convictions had become strangers to him. This realization brought him to a crucial turning point where he had to choose between genuine self-expression and a relationship built on pretenses. The lesson here is profound yet straightforward. Relationships should enhance your life, not fundamentally alter your identity. It's imperative to cultivate a relationship where both parties can respectfully agree to disagree, and where each person's beliefs are valued and upheld. This doesn't mean you can't change or grow together, but such evolution should come from genuine personal development, not the pressure to conform. As you reflect on your current and future relationships, ask yourself, are you maintaining your integrity and staying true to your values? Are you and your partner supporting each other's growth while respecting individual differences? These questions are not just rhetorical. They're essential checks that ensure you are not losing yourself in the effort to be part of a couple. In conclusion, remember that Stoic happiness comes from knowing oneself and living in harmony with that knowledge, not from molding oneself to fit another's expectations. Let this Stoic principle guide you toward more genuine and fulfilling interactions, where your authenticity is the bridge to deeper connections, not a barrier to be dismantled. 9. Letting jealousy control your actions. Jealousy, if left to spiral out of control, can be a corrosive element in any relationship. It's a common emotional challenge that many face, yet its impact can be profoundly damaging if not managed wisely. As William Shakespeare once vividly described it, "Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on." This timeless quote captures the destructive nature of jealousy, which, when unchecked, can undermine the very foundations of trust and respect that healthy relationships are built upon. When jealousy enters the relationship, it can tempt you to act out of fear rather than love, leading to behaviors that may include possessiveness or attempts to control your partner. Such actions are not only detrimental to the relationship, but also to your own sense of self-worth and happiness. The key to combating jealousy is not to suppress these feelings, but to address them openly and constructively. Communication plays a pivotal role here. It's about being able to express your insecurities without casting blame or creating guilt. Reflect on what triggers your jealousy. Is it a lack of security within yourself, or perhaps something from your past that has left a deep imprint? Discussing these triggers openly with your partner can help mitigate misunderstandings and foster a deeper understanding between you two. It's essential to approach these conversations with a mindset of seeking solutions rather than assigning fault. By understanding the roots of your jealousy, you can begin to work on the underlying issues, be it self-esteem, trust, or unresolved past grievances. Moreover, focusing on building self-confidence is crucial. Engaging in activities that reinforce your sense of self and practicing self-affirmation can enhance your self-worth and reduce feelings of insecurity. The philosophy of Stoicism offers valuable insights here, emphasizing control over one's own emotions and reactions. Stoic happiness is derived from internal peace and self-mastery, which includes managing emotions like jealousy. 10. Overlooking your own mental health. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This sage advice is crucial when considering the often overlooked aspect of personal well-being, mental health, in the context of our relationships. Neglecting our mental health for the sake of another's happiness or to smooth over relationship challenges can lead to dire consequences, including depression, anxiety, and a significant erosion of self-esteem. Hence, the Stoic life lessons we discuss today emphasize not just surviving in relationships, but thriving in them through a balance that respects both our well-being and our commitments to others. When we prioritize a partner's happiness over our own mental health, we risk becoming shadows of our true selves, drained and devoid of the vigor needed to support either our own needs or those of the relationship. This imbalance can spiral into serious long-term effects that not only diminish our quality of life, but also the quality of our relationships. Therefore, it is vital to maintain a healthy balance where your mental well-being is given as much priority, if not more, than the needs of the relationship. Regularly checking in with yourself to assess your mental state is not just a recommendation, it's a necessity. This can involve a variety of practices, such as seeking professional help when the burden feels too heavy, engaging in mindfulness exercises to cultivate a sense of present awareness, or dedicating time to activities that recharge and rejuvenate your spirit. Furthermore, fostering an environment where open communication about mental health issues is normalized can create a supportive dynamic within your relationship, encouraging both you and your partner to share and support each other's mental health journeys. Consider this. Are you ensuring that your mental health is not being sidelined? Are you actively discussing and managing mental health within your relationship? These are not just questions, but pivotal checks that ensure the sustenance of not only your personal health, but also the health of your relationship. In this modern age, where life's pressures can seem relentless, understanding how to manage our mental health becomes even more crucial. In conclusion, embracing Stoic principles to manage life's challenges teaches us that the maintenance of mental health is not a luxury, but a fundamental aspect of living a fulfilled life. It encourages us to take proactive steps towards mental well-being, to communicate openly about our struggles, and to ensure that our relationships are conduits of mutual growth and support, not just emotional burden sharing. Let this be a call to action, not just to survive the storms of life, but to navigate through them with wisdom, balance, and mutual respect, thus embracing the true essence of Stoic happiness. In today's video on Win Stoic, we've explored the profound Stoic lessons on maintaining balance in our relationships. The essence of Stoicism teaches us to use reason as our guiding lens, ensuring that our actions are not mere reactions to emotions, but are decisions made with clarity and foresight. This wisdom is crucial, not only in resolving conflicts or making significant life decisions, but also in the everyday interactions we have with those around us. It's about choosing to communicate openly, showing patience over frustration, and seeking to understand rather than making premature judgments. By embracing these practices, we cultivate relationships that are not only filled with passion, but are also resilient, respectful, and deeply connected. I encourage you to apply these principles to your daily life, to see how they can enhance your personal growth and bring about a greater sense of happiness. What changes will you make to incorporate Stoic wisdom into your relationships? Share your thoughts and any experiences you have with applying Stoicism in your daily interactions in the comments below. Your insights not only enrich our community, but also help us all grow together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content that guides you towards a more philosophical and fulfilled life. Stay virtuous, and until next time, let's continue our journey towards personal and relational wisdom with the guidance of Stoic principles.